Right, welcome, guys. Let's talk Disney. I know. We hear about it a lot, but I think this is interesting. So, one of the things I've said many times on this channel has been Disney's penchant for announcing a whole bunch of things either on the earnings call, just before the earnings call, around that time, then either afterwards cancelling what they had announced, or purposely creating a scenario in which that thing never materializes. Or, again, there's a lot of ors here, never intending it to materialize in the first place. Now, a more cynical man, definitely not me. No one could accuse me of being cynical. A more cynical man would assume that actually that's a bit of stock manipulation. It's a way to boost share prices, or at least give the illusion to those that own a piece of the pie of Disney that things are going well. Things are good. They've got good things on the horizon, things to be excited about, things not to shout at Bob Iger for. Now, a lot of people have recognised this pattern. Obviously, I've made videos on it before. You guys have spoken about it as well. There's a long list of products that follow this exact same pattern. Now, when it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it's probably Bob Iger talking bollocks on an earnings call. And they've done it again. You read from the title. Maybe it's in the title. They've done it again. They've done it again. If you can believe it. Goodness me. Hit subscribe if you're new here, folks. Turn the bell notifications on. So Respawn's Star Wars first-person shooter is cancelled. Right. Okay. So, again, this was quite literally only announced on the earnings call. So we have it here. The tweet. EA has cancelled Star Wars first-person shooter. It was rumoured to be a Mandalorian bounty hunter game. So, yeah, the earnings call. Announce things to inflate stock value. Cancel them afterwards. How is this not stock manipulation? How is it not? Genuinely. How is it not stock manipulation at this point in time? And you know what? It's not just me that has noticed these kind of things. There's a lot of people that have noticed this. Friend of the channel, WDW Pro, commented on this and replied to it and said pretty much the same thing. It was announced in time for the Disney earnings call, then cancelled. Pattern. Yes. Now, Stone Loki replies, EA announced yesterday they are laying off over 600 employees, will be sunsetting older live-action games and will be moving away from licensed IPs like Star Wars. Well, you know, that could be the reason why they've decided to cancel it, but I mean, the earnings call was only like 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. It was pretty recent. So yes, that may be the reason, but you'd think that you'd have had that in mind for a while. Why announce it? But also, even if that's the defense, that's not a good defense, because that goes to show how Star Wars as a brand is dead. EA arguably was once one of the largest games companies out there. Doesn't want to work with licensed IPs. Is it that the license is too expensive? Is it that the IP doesn't generate income? Oh, that was a trick question. Because it actually doesn't matter how much the IP costs them to use if it generates a profit. So there's not enough interest. It's a dead brand. It's dead. It's dead as a dodo. So anyway, let's take a look at this report just to kind of confirm it all. And, you know, that's not a good defense, like I said. It's just not. So today, EA announced a major work shakeup. So that, you know, basically 670 individuals, or 5% of its workforce, are losing their jobs as a part of the same reorganization. Respawn Star Wars first-person shooter in development at Respawn is being cancelled. Okay. So CEO Andrew Wilson's announcement of the cuts today, which was yesterday. EA Entertainment President Laura Miele shared a note with staff explaining more detail what EA's business priorities would be going forward. This includes her announcement that EA is shutting down an early development Star Wars first-person shooter action game as a part of an ongoing focus on its own owned brands and supporting its existing games. So they know fundamentally that Star Wars as a brand is so damaged, so just terrible in terms of generating profit, that they would rather just generate original IP, which makes a lot of sense. Why wouldn't you? It's always hard to walk away from a project, she says, and this decision is not a reflection of the team's talent, tenacity, or passion they have for the game. Giving fans the next installments of the iconic franchise they want is the definition of blockbuster storytelling and the right place to focus. Huh. So they've had to fire loads of people, but like I said, also sunset storylines and games which were still in active development. They were in actual active development. But like I said, I think what's interesting is the pattern. And it's difficult not to recognise that pattern when it happens so very often. And boy howdy does it happen very, very often with Bob Iger and Star Wars in general. So, interesting stuff. And again, people in the replies. That game was announced like a week ago, if I remember correctly. That was so short-lived. It's never been officially announced what it was. Some details were reportedly uncovered. It doesn't matter. It was still announced. They did announce it was a first-person shooter game and bounty hunter game officially. So, yeah, interesting. Interesting stuff. But again, just before the earnings call, they announced these things. And then they're like, it's cancelled. See ya. Now, if that is not manipulation, I don't know what is. Genuinely. But EA's terrible anyway nowadays. They are absolute trash. They're garbage. They've fallen into utter disarray. And they produce crap games now as well. So there you have it. There's not much else really to say on this. Pattern of behaviour unlocked. We see it. We recognise it. We know it. And that's about it. Do you have any thoughts? If you do, I'd love to hear them. So put them down below, please. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Please do turn those pesky bell notifications on. A lot of people don't get notified. So please do follow me over on Twitter at Mistakes Reviews. I share some videos there occasionally. If you want to support the channel, we've got Patreon. We've got memberships on YouTube. And you can also support via Streamlabs. It goes a long way. The very best way, though, guys, because I do get asked this, the very best way to support the channel is buying merch. Mr8shop.com. Some very funny designs over there. So, cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.